Hello and welcome to the Sports and Games audio walk. This walk begins at Cardiff Devils Arena at Cardiff Bay before progressing up to overlook the River Taff. Then we go through the streets of Grangetown before we finish at the Buzz Centre.
Hello, my name is Hamza Asker. I'm 18 and I live in Grangetown. And basically our walk is about sports in Grangetown.
Hello, my name is Mubarak Salah. I'm 17 and I live in Adderstown. And my walk is about sports in Grangetown as well. Our work covers sports in Grangetown and the surrounding area.
Our walk begins down the Cardiff Bay and ice hockey arena.
Down at the Bay, the Cardiff Devils hockey team have their stadium. We decided to ask player and coach Brent Paul about experiences with the team.
Probably the standout moment are a couple things. Actually, when we had a 12s team that won this past season, when they were short-handed about 7 first-string players, and we got a very important result to keep them up in the top level hockey. But I'd say maybe this past weekend we were at the under-16s. We're playing the national championships in Sheffield, and although we didn't get through to the final, we had a standout game for the consolation game where our team won 5-0, and it was sort of the pinnacle of the last 3 years of work that we've been doing. So that was pretty outstanding. I mean, it's a professional relationship, isn't it? The manager's there to do a job, to direct the team and focus the team, and the players are there to, as employees, to execute that. And if you don't do a good job as a professional ice hockey player, well, I'll let you know. There's other players who want to do that job. So your job is to adhere to the direction of the manager in the best interest of the team and the best interest of your own professional career. So I think the relationship is a business one, if I'm being totally honest with you.
So what does drives you to win like hockey?
Well, I think it's a natural competitive instinct, isn't it? I mean, whether it's hockey games or whether it's getting your schoolwork done or whether it's anything that we compete at in life. I think you're either a natural competitor or you're not, So I think you want to win if you want to win, don't you? If you happen to put your life's work in ice hockey, which I've done, and I've been doing it for 34 years, then you end up being pretty serious about it, don't you? And you want to make sure that if you've got the opportunity to stay in the sport as a professional, and then maybe after your playing career is done, then it's not a bad way to earn a living. Those that are playing out here right now are just starting at the sport and enjoy it for the pleasure of participating in the sport. So there's all different ranges and involvement in the sport, isn't there? And depending on what level you're playing at or what level you aspire to achieve. Well, I think the future is whatever they want to make it, isn't it? Some of these guys, if they want to go on and play at the top level, the pathway is available to them here. There's certainly a lot of endeavor and a lot of hard work ahead of them to make that a reality. But if they just want to participate in the sport, well, it's available to them here. If they want to really drive forward and potentially become an elite league Cardiff Devil one day, well, that's available to them. Whether or not it's likely, well, it will depend on a number of things and how they mature, how they grow, and how they apply themselves in the years ahead.
Brent told us about his superstitions.
I always would knock on wood if I either said something or I thought something that I thought would be detrimental to either my health or somebody else's health. If you were concerned about something going wrong, you'd often knock on wood just to sort of legislate for that and hopefully be able to warrant that off. But those are my only superstitions. I've had my teeth fixed now as a result of some of the damage that I've had on my teeth before, so I got a superstition. Maybe it's called wearing a gum shield now, so that I don't lose those in the future again.
We also asked Brent about his life in Cardiff, what he does in his spare time and the plans for a future stadium.
Well, my girlfriend and I have an issue over how much spare time we actually both have. So that's a very popular discussion about whether or not we do have time. But I don't actually have as much spare time as I'd like. To be honest, I spend too much time at the moment watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on ESPN America. I do enjoy going out and obviously socializing, but spending time with my girlfriend. But, friends, obviously, we've got a number of those, but I end up really spending a lot of time here. And I just take an interest in sport in general, live sport. Obviously, I enjoy going to the movies, and I should probably read more than I do, but there we are. And I also do some commentary as well, and been fortunate to have that opportunity. So I left home at 16, so I'm 38 now. I've been gone for 22 years. I think you always miss your hometown. It's from where you're from, but Cardiff has become my home, to be honest. And I look forward to going home and seeing my family. And I look forward to doing that in the summertime. But at the end of the day, things move on, but you'll always miss where you come from and where you were raised. And then you're always keen to go back and see it again and spend some time there. So I wouldn't say that I think so much about missing it as much as I just look forward to going back. Most current plans or that in 2013 there'll be a new building that will be here alongside us, and it is potentially going to be a double pad facility. So it is going to be, a pretty serious complex here with a snow dome and a number of other things going on. So it's the real deal coming, and it's pretty exciting plans being formalized at the moment, and be interesting just to see how that develops. But it's very topical at the moment, and that is likely to occur. Who's going to build it, who's going to operate it, those are still question marks. But the fact that we will have a new facility is guaranteed, and the fact that it may very well be a double pad is also very probable.
If you can make your way to Site 2 on your map, this overlooks the River Taff.
The Taff is often very busy and has become popular with rowers in recent years. We decided to speak to a local rower who often rows at the Taff. We asked her about what drives her to row and what it's like rowing on the Taff.
I'm just quite competitive and most of the people in the club are also quite competitive. I guess I just want to get better and faster, and when you're on that start line and you look at your opposition, you think, I can have them. So it's being competitive, I think, is what drives me. And I'm only 5'5", so I'm never going to be an Olympic rower because I'm just too small. I'm not even going to be an Olympic cox because I'm too big. The coxes are really small and very light. And I think, the higher the level you want to compete at, you've got to dedicate more of your life to it. The Olympic guys, they don't have normal jobs. They just row and train all the time. I have a job that sometimes sends me away out of Cardiff. But even just to compete at the level, at the club level that I do, I train most nights for a couple of hours, and then Saturdays and Sundays you've maybe got about 3 hours. So it's still a lot of work, but the difference really is how much time you can give to it, and also how tall you are. All you have to avoid down on the Taff at this end is the water taxi. If you go to, I've competed on the Thames before, and you have to avoid commercial boats and barges and people going past in speedboats, whereas on the Taff there's just the water taxi and you're okay. It's smaller, it's quite friendly, quite a nice stretch of river. The racing season for rowing only started last month, but I think for me, maybe competing for the first time in a smaller boat in what we call a double. So that's when there's two of you in the boat and you've both got 2 oars. I've never done this before, even though I've rowed for a long time. So it was really, and I sit in the seat where you have to do some steering, and it was a very twisty course, and we made it in the end, so that was quite outstanding for me. At Channel View they held the Welsh Indoor Rowing Championships on the rowing machines, and I don't really like the rowing machines. I hate them, they're horrible. But I managed to win a gold medal for the team event, so that was pretty outstanding too.
We asked her about her sporting superstitions and her club and future plans.
We row as a sort of squad. There's about, I don't know, maybe 12 of us, and we all just get into different combinations and practice. And we do have a squad captain, and she kind of helps to coach the squad, and she also sort of organises us. So I guess she's kind of like our manager. And we get on quite well. Usually after a session, maybe on a Thursday night, we all go up to the clubhouse and have a Coca-Cola or something, have a soft drink and just have a chat. And we have some fun. And we have fun when we go away to races. We tend to make a whole weekend of it and have fun. So it's really good. I'm not sure if it's a superstition. Rowers, we like to have a routine, and it helps to have a routine, so that when you're on race day, there are things that you can do without thinking about it. I find it quite difficult to eat before a race, and during the summer, it's sort of, the races are done sort of 1 against 1, and if you win, you go through. If we're going through the rounds, I find it very difficult to eat the whole day, and I'll get to the end of the race and just find the biggest burger I can find and wolf it down, hopefully to celebrate a win. You know, I do it for enjoyment, I do it to keep fit. I get to meet lots of interesting people as well. I would hope one day to, you know, be able to compete at a slightly higher level, maybe to get good enough so that I could go maybe compete sort of in the London circuit. That's a much higher level than, you know, around Cardiff, but we'll see if that happens. You know, I came to rowing quite late in life. I know I'm not going to progress to you know, a very high standard, but I just enjoy what I'm doing.
We also met with local historians who meet at Grangetown Library to ask them about their memories. They told us that altogether there were a few sport clubs or organisations at the time. They did play a lot of games in the streets instead.
Well, I wasn't a very sporty person, but we used to play games in the street. We used to play skipping and whip and top, hopscotch, and they all had a season. It was an unwritten season. Like all of a sudden, you'd see other kids with skipping rope. You'd say, "Oh, we're going to get the skipping rope out now." And in the street where I lived, somebody had this huge long rope which stretched from here to the other side of the library, and it used to weigh a ton, and they used to stand in the middle of the road with this long rope, and about 3 of you would get inside and skip, you know. And one of my neighbours' mothers, she was an expert. She could do bumps. You know, do you know what bumps were?
Yes, I knew
fast.
bumps. Yes. Really fast.
Yes. Yeah.
Skipping really fast.
We used to play conches when you didn't need crash helmets. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
You would
Yeah.
you pick your conkers and you put them in an oven to harden them off, you know, and you put like a shoelace we used to use through the centre of the conker, hold it up, and then your competitor would have to try and break your conker in half.
Yeah. Yeah, they used to in our street. They used to the gas lamp posts were were sort of like that. And on there they used to put rope and swing around the lamp. Put a cushion on the loop and swing around the lamppost. Didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah, I was too afraid to do that. I was always afraid that the arm was going to snap at the top. You know?
Well, thank you very much for listening. We hope you enjoyed our walk. This marks the end of our walk.